afternoon. This is the City of Erie Environmental Advisory Council's regular meeting of Wednesday, September 24, 2025. Let the record show that the meeting started at 3 p.m. Moving on to the agenda, we have roll call. Puz is present. Mason? Here. Campbell? Here. Carrie's absent. Lupo? Here. Howden? Here. Teffer? Here. Associate members, Tarvin? Here. Looks like Walmsley and Wedekin are absent. Director Spry's present. Moore is present. And Peelman is not present. All right, sounds good. Moving on to the next item, amendment and approval of the agenda. Are there any amendments to the agenda? If not, if anyone would like to make a motion to accept the agenda?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? So moved. Thank you. Up next, approval of the July 2025 meeting minutes, noting that there was no meeting last month. Were there any corrections? All right, do I have a motion to approve the meetings of July 2025?
Motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? So moved. On to the next item. Introduction of visitors. It does not look like we have visitors.
We have Justin Mason is out there chit-chatting with the guards. Isn't that him?
It looks like a public sign.
Yeah. So if we could, Cooper, could you wrangle him because I think he's here for us.
I think that would fall under new business.
I think he might have come at Jasmine's request about the email exchange. Yeah. So, yeah.
I mean, he would be, I don't think he's necessarily under public comment though, right? Because that's limited to 5 minutes. It would be the new business.
I just assumed I thought if we were going to do introduction of visitors that maybe we should introduce him.
Okay.
Or ask him to introduce himself.
Hi, yes.
Do you want to introduce yourself as a visitor? This is brief, just a brief introduction.
Sorry, I can be long-winded. Justin Mason, Erie County resident. Thank you so much for considering this proposal of supporting community energy and community solar here in Erie.
So we'll talk more about it
Yes,
later
it's
on
under
the
new
agenda.
business.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, y'all.
Thank you. All right. Seeing no other visitors. Up next, public comment. Doesn't appear to be anyone in the public to comment. All right. Moving on. Subcommittee updates. Single-use plastic ban ordinance. You have an update?
Sure. We have started to reach out to community businesses and organizations. So we have the flyer and the questionnaire. Huge kudos to Al Skwagonski, who seems to be the champion here. But other people have signed up to talk with other people. So we are starting the outreach with the intention of doing outreach between now and the beginning of the year. So we have quite a few months to kind of get things started and to start soliciting feedback. We had a meeting last month. We got a little bit of feedback, which we discussed, and but at this point, we're just kind of moving forward with reaching out, with outreach. That's about it.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Yeah.
Any questions, comments?
Sam, would you be willing to come to the art house to do something with, they're probably mainly 9 to 12-year-olds for an hour?
Yeah.
I'll talk to you about it. It's the green team, and the focus is going to be single-use plastics.
Oh, fantastic.
And microplastics.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll talk to you.
Absolutely.
I just met with them once so far.
Okay.
You
Yeah.
mentioned something in one of your emails about a grant. Is that the one that would help the Water Authority get the quench buggy? Or there was some grant you're working on, and you said keep your fingers crossed.
Oh, the email that I sent out this morning, the Freshwater Future, that was to the PLUA members. That was for PLUA to get water quality testing kits that would be stored within the center, among other places, could be stored in the Center for Lake Erie Education and Research. Yeah, that's, yeah. Sarah Peelman has showed up.
All right, anything else? All right, moving on to the Dark Sky Subcommittee.
We haven't met for a while, partly, how long were you gone, Mike?
It was a year or more, it feels like.
Yeah. It must have been nice to be in New Mexico for a year.
Months, Michael.
But, I was just noticing walking over here, it never occurred to me that the federal buildings has that glass staircase facing west, and they have a glass wall facing south. And they're not, the one, certainly the one facing west, if the birds were hitting that window, you wouldn't see them because there's some kind of well. But I just, I'm mentioning that because there are those two not yet built buildings that I'm wondering about, and the Erie Bird Observatory had not been successful connecting with them. And one other thing I wanted to mention is I was thinking about light color, and apparently amber is the best color, but that's a very hard color to find. It would be interesting that if we can identify some of the things that are helpful to have to reduce impact on birds and beneficial insects, if we could share that with the residents and maybe even find a way to help make those available. But it seems like we're due for another meeting soon.
Yeah, I think the Erie Bird Observatory, their busiest time of year, since they're working with the people that do bird recovery work down at Tamarack, they're still trying to recover from their busiest time of year. But I know they're not doing the monitoring anymore. What we did last fall, and I was one of the volunteers that was walking the streets, that's not being done this fall, and it was due to, in part, lack of additional funding for it. But I would hope that they're still going to be at the table and interested in advancing some of the things. And I don't know if Jackie has anything to add.
We were supposed to have a meeting around this time period, maybe even right now, with the fall migration. I think we discussed that. And I haven't talked with Holly, the Erie Bird Conservatory.
Erie Bird Observatory, sorry. I haven't spoken with her in a few weeks, so we'll have to touch base. But the hope was to have a meeting with some of those organizations and businesses and come together to talk about potential, what the risks are, what's been happening, what's the data that has been collected, and possible solutions to that. I also would like to mention, for those of you who listen to NPR, there are 8 public service 30-minute spots about the Erie Bird Observatory and turning off your lights and a few other things. And it's because I made a donation to NPR, to WQLN, and I didn't think I could do the public service announcement because it was it's a retirement thing, it's a tax deductible. Anyway, so 8 times in this week and next week, there'll be a 30-second announcement about birds and light, and also the big sit, which is on October 11th.
Nice.
All right. Any questions, comments on the report? All right, seeing none, we'll move on to the next item on the agenda. Old business, the EAC support letter to the mayor for LCAP funding.
I can take both of these items for old business. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Have a little bit of a cold. I would recommend that we remove the first item from old business. We try as we might, we do not think that this funding from ARP, the ARP bucket is going to be approved at this time. So we basically received an answer that that the administration, the mayor, is not ready to approve that funding. We tried whatever we could. You supported the staff in trying to make a good argument, but at this time, I would recommend that item be taken off. However, I think we should revisit it at the beginning of the year, and I also think that it would be a good idea for the EAC, along with myself and Sarah Peelman, to look back at our the foundation grant that we did about a year ago. I'm not remembering the name of it at this moment. The engagement grant that we did.
People for something?
People for places?
Yes, thank you. Partner for Places.
Partners.
Yes, in that document, there's at least 2 or 3 pages of suggestions for grants, and I think that it would be a good idea for us to revisit that, look at potential funding, and then have this discussion, put it back on the agenda at the beginning of the year.
So was this money that's going to go away because it's ARP money? So
No.
with
No.
the new administration, yeah, okay. I mean,
Yes.
one way or another, there's
Yeah.
going to be a new mayor.
It's the money earmarked to be spent on the tree program.
Trees.
The urban forestry program. We were requesting 50,000 of that to be used for the local climate action plan and the plan.
It's not as if they don't redirect money all the time, so that is an unprecedented request.
Yes.
Oh, for someone like me who watches how they allocate funding, they move money around all the time. So it's not that it would be an excessively unusual request to move money from trees to the LCAP. So I don't think, I think we could make a good case for that. There's a lot of precedent for those kind of moves.
And I think also if we had a smaller grant to supplement, we would be able to, also have a better case to ask to leverage the money to support the development of the LCAP. So again, we tried, a decision was made, we're not going to be able to move forward with that funding, and we're going to look for grant money that's out there to develop or to be able to be used to hire a consultant for the planning of the LCAP, and with the hope that some monies would be supported or supplemented by the city if needed, if necessary.
The Places for Partners grant requires a foundation sponsor to donate half the money. And the last grant round, we weren't able to get a foundation sponsor at the time.
So we could try again for that grant funding. We would have to, make sure we had a sponsor in place because it's 50%. But there were other potential grant funding opportunities in that report that was given to us. So we also have suggestions from our Penn State students that in their report. So we have we have the ability to go after things. We just, now that we know that we don't have the city funds available to us at this time. So I recommend that we take off that it's been on there for a while, and we take off item A and keep the LCAP updates on for old business, though. We'll continue to update the EAC on what other grant funding we'll be going after.
So could we table it, because we have a letter, we don't want to just lose it?
We've used it. We submitted it.
We submitted the letter.
Yeah,
Oh.
it
Oh,
already
yes.
happened. It just
Okay.
it was basically our request was denied.
Right, correct.
Sometimes council appropriates money on their own, but yeah.
Yeah, we finally got an answer, is what it was.
Yeah. I support that. Do we have to make a motion?
No, I don't think
I
so.
mean, honestly, I think we can just remove it to next agenda.
Okay, I just asking.
Yeah. Right. Anything on the LCAP updates themselves, or?
I think that was it.
That was it?
Yeah.
All right. Moving on. Oh, I should say, any questions, comments before we move on? All right, thank you. Up next, new business. We have the community energy legislation, and I believe Justin Mason is here to speak on that. So, welcome.
Hi, Council. Justin Mason. I support community energy, and I would like to thank you all for the consideration to do so as well. Community energy facilitates more decentralized energy. Pennsylvania, specifically us as ratepayers in PA, we're watching our bills go up. It matters how we make more energy, and it matters how we create programs to help those impacted by rising energy costs. At this time, currently, 50% of the homes in the state of Pennsylvania cannot host solar on their rooftops due to compounding factors. Homeowners associations, lack of funds to make repairs, shading, things of that nature prevent homeowners in PA from being able to put solar on their roofs. We find that same problem right here in Erie. With costs going up, with factors in place that we can't site solar on our own roofs, community energy specifically gives us a path forward, as these rising costs of energy are disproportionately impacting those who cannot afford their rising rates of energy the way others who make reasonable rates of income beyond impoverished means. Supporting community energy, first city of Erie, then county of Erie, and making that known to legislators in Harrisburg and seeing a unified voice here in Erie in support of community energy helps those who are unable to afford that disproportionate rising cost of energy that impacts them. It's no stretch to say that people will be looking at their bills soon and saying, do I afford my utility bill, or do I afford my necessities for this month? Being whatever they need from the doctor, whatever they need from the grocery store, or whatever they need to facilitate their everyday life. Support community energy, please. Sign on. Support the other cities throughout Pennsylvania. Pittsburgh just joined. Lancaster's hopefully on its way. Philadelphia is hopefully on its way. Join your peers and please support community energy. Freda? Freda, apologies.
So I know that there is a cooperative. What is community energy? What are you talking about? Because I have a brand new roof, and I know my neighbor a few blocks away put panels on, partly because her son is in the business, but I don't think there's anything that prohibits me from doing it, other than the money. But what is community energy, and how does it differ from the cooperative?
Sure, and thank you for that question. I definitely didn't do the best job giving context to what community energy is, right? So community solar would be where there is a field of solar panels that can be owned by ratepayers. that is grouped in under community energy. The definition of community energy includes community solar, but it also includes methane digestion. There's a whole host of reasons why methane digesters help to contribute to preventing algaic blooms, which impact our lake city greatly, impact human health, pet owner health, so on and so forth. Community energy gives a way forward for not only community solar, but as well methane digestion, which means that the farmers, instead of spreading manure on their fields, they can then send that manure to a methane digester, and when you spread the manure on the field, you get algaic blooms. When you spread fertilizer, you spike the nitrogen into the waterways, which then finds its way into our lake, which then we experience the algaic blooms that we're seeing. Community energy accounts for community solar and those algaic blooms because it helps to account for methane digestion along with community solar. So community energy has a dual environmental benefit in the sense of helping to host community solar farms within function of our communities, our counties of Pennsylvania, to help subscribers to the community solar farms offset their personal energy usage while also accounting for methane digestion to help prevent algaic blooms.
So is this a for-profit business, a not-for-profit, or are you saying this is something that would be part of government? I don't understand where it is, what it is.
No, absolutely. So this will be for-profit ventures. Nonprofit organizations will also be able to formulate to help with the subscription of community solar inside of community energy. Community energy is a dual function bill because it helps with the methane digestion and it also helps to facilitate the community solar farm development.
So there's a bill in the state legislature?
Yes, ma'am. HB 504, community energy.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
So in terms of working with the farmers, can you speak to how you'll be influencing the farmers and the Right to Farm Act, and are you also working directly with the farmers, or how is that, how will you mandate that?
Sure.
Considering that the farmers are protected under a federal ruling?
This would be something that farmers could opt in to participating in. They're not exactly mandated that they have to then give up their manure to do so. This gives them the option, though, that they can then essentially send their manure to a facility to be disposed of properly instead of just spreading it out on their fields.
Would they be incentivized, and also what would they then use as their fertilization?
They could be incentivized. I'm not sure that there is incentivization under the HB 504 Community Energy Act. But as far as what they could utilize beyond that, there are other forms of fertilization, biochar being one of them, that is greatly undervalued and under-acknowledged. And here in Penn's Woods, we could actually use biochar. I could get into a definition and context around biochar, but it might detract from the definition of community energy and options for fertilization. At this time, those means of spreading fertilizer on our fields are harming our lake and harming our lake community at this time.
Is there also discussion in the bill about a no-till zone and?
Not that I'm aware of, and I'm not sure whether or not that language is part of the bill.
Okay, thank you.
Certainly.
Can I just add that methane digesters can also be used for food waste? And as we don't currently have an industrial composting facility in Erie County, but there's a lot of people who want to not put food waste in garbage or landfills. It's an alternative to doing like backyard composting, especially for people who live in apartments that don't necessarily have the access to do composting at home. Having access to an industrial composter, I would prefer over methane digesters, but I think methane digesters are a good alternative when there isn't an industrial composting facility available.
Absolutely. We have a lot of food waste coming out of the local school districts, a lot of food waste coming out of our local restaurants. That fills up landfills.
Yeah.
We have a great rate of accumulation, unfortunately, going on in the south portion of our county with our landfill. We could actually help slow some of that down, and thank you, Sam, for making that point. Community energy would give an option then, because methane digesters not only are there to help to benefit the farmers, but they're also there to help benefit our civic functions in sense of schools, hospitals, state offices. We all have food waste, and having methane digestion as a solution to be able to send our food waste for proper disposal and energy creation amidst an energy crisis in the state of Pennsylvania, which we are experiencing. Any option that we can come up with for creation of more electrons, generation, and that means is participating in the continuation and innovation of our energy legacy of this state. Yes, sir.
The other source of organic matter for methane digestion is our solid waste at the wastewater treatment plant. Is that possible to be addressed under these programs?
That I'm not aware of, and I don't want to say that it couldn't happen, as there is sugars, so to speak, inside of that waste, and the anaerobic nature of the digestion would be able to digest such waste. That would have to be an option looked at to be explored by the local city.
Yeah, I think biosolids are also part of,
Okay.
So I think it's intended for food waste, biosolids, and manure.
All right, cool.
Yeah,
Great
organic
point, sir.
waste of any
Yeah, I mean,
type.
this is just human manure.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So it looks like there's a bill that passed the House.
And I think it passed the Senate. It still had to go through the House, if I'm not mistaken.
And what kind of transportation of all this material to get to the biodigester site? And what kind of safeguards would there be in transporting the material?
Sure. Logistically, I'm not able to speak as to best practice management and how that would be conducted, though I'd imagine that there would be some type of regulation, I would hope, in time to help establish those BPMs.
That's not a small consideration.
Certainly.
But the bill is really just, I mean, Fred, I appreciate the questions that you're asking, but the bill basically just allows these to be, like, those are finer details that are beyond the scope of, like, this is literally a bill that just simply says communities are allowed to do this if they so want to. You still have to have companies that are willing to come in and have those conversations with the communities and establish these things. And that's when the questions that you're asking come into play. The House bill is really just establishing the possibility that we can even get to that point.
Well, we started out with almost no information, so I'm trying to get a sense of what is going on here.
Sure.
I understand. I'm just trying to clarify what the House bill is allowing for. It's not those finer details. I'm just simply explaining
It's
that.
important because, there are certain things that the local jurisdictions are preempted from regulating if something's set up at the state level. So that is also something to be aware of.
Absolutely. Thank you, Freda. Any other questions I can speak to for y'all?
So are you asking for something?
I'm asking for support on community energy, on supporting the memorandum sent around.
So basically, you're asking us to, because all we are is a recommending body to the city council. So you're asking us to recommend to the city council that they create and pass some sort of resolution as you have spelled out here.
Yes, ma'am.
And I would make a motion that we recommend to city council that they create and pass a resolution such as explained and spelled out in Justin Mason's email to us from earlier. I don't know, this.
Thank you. Yeah, and that's just to stay in lockstep with what the city of Pittsburgh's doing Lancaster's looking to do, Philly is looking to do. We want to maintain cohesive nature on energy support, especially when it means empowering our communities, especially because the price on a megawatt last year went from $29 to $269. And next year, it's going to go to $349, meaning that the people who purchase energy in bulk, that buy them in megawatts, buys energy by a unit in a megawatt to turn around and sell us that unit of energy in a kilowatt hour, their cost went up arguably 8 to 10 times. And it's only projected to go up as we're going to be siting these data centers in the state of Pennsylvania. There's a lot of question around that, and there's a lot of question on how we're going to make energy to support these types of facilities that are going to innovate the advancement of our society. Supporting community energy is supporting the future of residents of this state and also empowering them with the option to say, I want to invest in my rising cost of energy and be able to offset it appropriately. It would allow somebody who lives inside of an apartment or a home that they don't own or a home that they do own that experiences a compounding factor from them being able to put solar on their roof. They can now pay for it through a subscription into a community energy program and support solar within their community, support jobs, support local energy, and as well help offset their own energy costs that are going to continue to rise for decades to come.
I'll second Sam's motion.
Before we vote, I just want to say I haven't had a chance to read this House Bill 504, so I wouldn't necessarily be comfortable with voting on something I haven't read. But if you would like to vote, we can, but.
I would agree.
Yeah.
I get the impression, I mean, we're not going to be the one to make this a thing. It's simply a recommendation to city council to advance.
Correct, it would be,
Right.
yes, a
Right.
recommendation,
Right.
but I wouldn't want to make a recommendation on something I'm not familiar with.
I don't understand when we decide that it's our place to make a recommendation and when it isn't. Last month or the month before, I suggested that we comment on the rule to the EPA's proposal to rescind the endangerment rule, and everybody said that wasn't our place. So I don't understand, when is it our place to do something and when isn't it?
In this case, our council liaison forwarded this to us for a recommendation. Which is the role of the Environmental Advisory Council. So in this case, because it was forwarded from the governing body to us for a recommendation, it would be our responsibility at this time to make a.
So are you
Okay.
suggesting we table a vote on it or vote later?
That would be my suggestion until next month, so at least I can, or I shouldn't say I, but we can do a little more research and find out a little more about it. I'm not saying it's not a good idea, don't get me wrong. It's
When do they make a vote? Do you know?
That I'm not sure. With the state budget taking all the oxygen in the room.
Yeah. It's going to be a little bit.
It is going to be a little bit.
Okay. So-
But I do appreciate your deference, sir. Absolutely. Read through the bill. I work with coalitions and groups throughout the state of Pennsylvania on this very matter. There's been a lot of environmental support, a lot of community support throughout the state, and I completely understand why you would want to read through. I look forward to hearing your ruling and decision, but would like to thank each of you for taking a moment to consider this.
Do you have you said there's a lot of, do you have a list of your endorsers?
Coalition for Community Solar Access, Solar Energy Industry Association, I believe Sierra Club is involved with this to a certain degree, Penn Environment, Penn Future, Clean Air Council. I don't know that Our Water, Our Air is part of the group, though they might be. There's a good number of folks. Ezra Thrush out of Ridge Policy Group is as well another actor inside of supporting this and helping us all to understand and lead this march. There is a great number of advocate and educators around this matter, urban and rurally.
So is there a list on your website or something?
No, but I can see, we don't, that I know of, have an exact website in support of community energy saying all these groups have allowed their voices to support, but I can turn back internally and see if I can get a list for you, Freda.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Yes, ma'am.
To follow up on what you said, is there a synopsis of this bill that we can get our hands on, that we can read?
will.
I looked it up and you can get it.
Well, I know, but I don't like reading legalese, so I would prefer a synopsis if there is one out there.
I will ask internally and request and see if there is, and then get it over to y'all.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
You have all of our,
Did you send the sample ordinance to city council to look at?
I did. That was an ordinance in relation to the county ordinance on solar that was ruled on last year.
I don't remember what I was going to say. So just to clarify, so that everybody has homework to look this up and we will vote on this next time?
That would be my suggestion, although
Okay.
we do have an active motion on the floor.
Oh, how do we get rid of a motion? I don't, am
Yeah.
I supposed to
I move that we
remove my
table it.
motion? I have to,
Yeah,
I
rescind.
rescind my motion.
So I guess I rescind my second.
There we go.
All in favor of rescission? Rescission, it's rescission, sorry.
Rescission. Do we have to really vote on that?
No.
Oh, okay.
while
I
I'm
thought it was a
chair.
joke, but then you seemed serious. Okay.
All right,
So we will call this for a vote next month.
Research it, they can share it with the other members of the group or something, so not everybody gets time to share.
Excellent. Let me know if there's anything else I can do. If I can be here for the next vote, I will be.
Oh, I know what it was. You have our emails because it seemed, so we got this from Jasmine, and she seemed to think that we had gotten an email from you in August, but I don't think any of us did.
Okay.
So I just want to make sure that you have our email addresses.
Great. I will, can
Do
I
you
get
want
those from
this?
Sarah? Yes, I will.
Okay.
I'll get them from the sustainability coordinator for the city. Thank y'all so much.
Thank you.
yep, nope.
Thank you.
Thank you for your presentation.
Thank you for the time.
All right. Our next, okay, any questions, comments? I think that's today. All right, sounds good. We'll move on to the next item under new business, the Penn State LCAP, Local Government Operations Inventory.
Yes, that's me. So as you are all well aware, we went through our second LCAP, which is the Local Climate Action Program at Penn State. And the students presented, they came up with a prioritization matrix, they presented that to everyone. And, I think overall, we had more data the second time around than we did the first time around. I don't know if you remember Peter Buck saying at the last meeting that the city of Erie was going to be participating in a local government operations project. I'm not sure if you all remember that, but we are. Okay. So we are, again, in the LCAP program, which is their local climate action plan program, but we're not doing the same inventory. We're doing an inventory that is to provide the city with an analysis of the emissions for which it is responsible and has the control to change. So it's our resources. How is it different than the last LCAP project? This inventory is different in the scope of analysis. Last year's inventory was a community-wide inventory. It looked at all of the greenhouse gas emissions produced within the city boundary. This inventory will be a local government operations analysis looking at only the transportation within the city, looking at only the emissions produced by city operations. For example, instead of examining all transportation within the city, it focuses on the emissions caused by city-owned operated vehicles. Rather than all buildings, it only reviews those that the city owns and operates.
Does that include the water authority? Or?
Yes, no,
No,
wait,
because they got a lot of vehicles.
no. that doesn't, Sarah, that's not including the water authority. It is including the water authority, just kidding. Yes. Are you sure that's part of the inventory?
Erie Waterworks
It's all of the buildings.
Authorities are separate entities.
isn't Erie Waterworks not government?
Oh, it's like a separate entity.
Yes, but that
Created by the
is a
city
separate
council.
entity. I actually
I
don't,
don't think
I don't
Erie
think that
Waterworks-
include,
It does not include water.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm confused. It
Yeah.
includes the city of Erie's wastewater treatment plant.
yeah, well, that's under,
Yeah.
the water authority is its own entity, so yeah, it does not,
They got lots of vehicles out there.
yes. So,
This is only the city of Erie's buildings and structures.
who is responsible for collecting this data? The data collection is ultimately the city's responsibility. It's the student's responsibility to aggregate the data, interpret it, and use it to populate the inventory workbook. So what is the intended outcome? Broadly, the outcome from this local government operations inventory is to provide the city with the information to inform its internal climate work. More specifically, the deliverable for the fall semester will be a completed LGO inventory report and presentation to our intended audience, which you will be part of. Also, in the spring semester, they'll determine, are yet to be determined based on findings from the inventory. But some of those deliverables might be, again, a prioritization matrix, an upgrade to Erie's buildings, examining specific buildings and applying insights from the inventory to explain why the city should prioritize improvements to one building over another. Also, an in-depth analysis of specific projects that the students see as an opportunity to reduce emissions and that make good fiscal sense. Finding funding opportunities available that marry the efforts of historic preservation and climate action. Perhaps there's an opportunity to assist with grant writing there. And also policy. So we are required at this moment to have all this information to the students by October 6th, which is an unbelievable task for us, and I don't think we'll meet our deadline. And-
We provide the
No,
information.
this is,
No, but
the city.
They're not collecting the information.
well, they can't, we need to provide them the data for them to do the analysis.
We need all of our electric bills for every single building, all of our gas bills, all of our water bills, which is like very difficult to obtain.
So we, and also just an inventory and data collection in general, is also not as robust at the city as we would like. So we have a big task, and I don't know if we'll meet our deadline, but we're going to try to get them as much as we can.
What happens if we don't?
Well, then we'll give them what we have, and then we'll continue to build on that. I
Okay,
mean,
so it's
it's a
not a job
semester, no, it's a semester project. But, we want to provide a good experience for the students, so we want to make sure that they have the information, and then they can tabulate it and put it into the system for analysis.
It's sort of like, the local climate action plan was for the whole city of Erie, all the businesses in the whole city. This is like a little mini plan just for the city. And so it's something that's more under our possibility to, and hopefully enforce and enact and create a policy, because it's the city internally, it's just the city's administration and the buildings internally.
I assume this feeds into the 2030 thing.
I thought the city was part of Energy Star, and if so, they would have had all this data for years.
Sarah, come up to the microphone, because people online can't hear you.
We only have 3 buildings.
Oh, right, the 2030 district is only for 3 of the buildings, and there's more buildings than that. Yeah, I get
We
it.
have 100 city buildings.
Yeah.
And the 2030 district has committed 3. But I have trouble entering all the energy bills to keep up to date for those 3 buildings, because every building has its own department that pays their bills.
Yeah.
So it's difficult to collect all the data for all the different buildings, because there's so many different departments and bills that are paid.
Yeah.
And
I
it's-
remember doing that just for the EMTA, and they have like 4 different buildings, and like even like the addresses aren't the same. It's really weird.
And some of the
So, yeah.
buildings don't have their own meters, so you have
Yeah.
to figure out what buildings are on what meters, like,
Yeah.
it's very challenging.
Yeah.
But, we're gonna do the best we can, hopefully.
Yeah, once you have it done, like we did it for all of our buildings, and again, it's not, we're talking probably about 8 buildings. And once you have it all in, then it gets more routine, because then they just enter it each month, and we have somebody in each building that's responsible for doing that.
Right, but we have 100 buildings.
Yes.
So it's very difficult.
Right. Because I think we had initially entered the 3 years or 5 years, I forget, and that was a real headache.
Right, but once you have the information, it's extremely useful, and you can make very informed decisions. It's just collecting, there's nobody at the city whose job it is to compile that data. And so we're going to be having to ask like 20 or 30 different people to help gather this data.
But there's
which is
3
difficult.
buildings and there's 20 or 30 people involved with 3 buildings?
We have 100 buildings.
Oh, I thought you said 3
There's 3
buildings.
buildings committed to the 2030 district.
Ah, okay.
So I entered 3 years of data for those buildings. But those are not up to date with current bills either. Because it's time consuming. Like you said, unless you have the people who pay the bills just automatically enter it in, but then you have to have 20 or 30 people trained to use Energy Star. Like, we just haven't reached that level of organization on energy bills. Yeah, it's a lot. But we're trying to do we're trying. So hopefully we'll be able to get as much data as we can. It's more doable than we're making it sound, but it's hard at the same time.
It also will give us an inventory of our resources, on our municipal resources, and so I think it will be challenging to get the data. We'll do the best we can. We'll hopefully be able to call upon people internally, but I wanted to just make you aware of that project, and eventually, the students will be presenting virtually, because one is a student in Washington State and the other one is outside of State College as well. So they're both remote students. Yeah.
But this group is a group we would want to review the data and, be a part of the project as we move forward.
Are they all paying bills to the same pay?
Well, Pedelec has all the electric bills, but
So
there's,
can't we get them to give it to us?
but we need the data tied to each individual building.
And there's no way to,
We have to figure that out internally.
but how many, does each?
When Pedelec gives you a bill, it just has the account number on it. It doesn't say what
Some
building
buildings
it's for.
some bills might have multiple buildings on them. That's another issue.
And so the point is to be able to tie the energy use to the specific buildings so you can figure out which buildings are using more energy than others and which ones need more improvements or which ones are already energy efficient, which ones have had lighting upgrades, which ones need heating upgrades. Depending on the energy use. It's the ideal situation is you would have a separate energy bills for every single building and can analyze everybody's data individually. To see like per square foot, how much energy are they using and which buildings are the most efficient. But it's a fine level of detail that we have to get down to. That's all.
I will add,
That's the challenge.
Pedelec, I've just updated our Energy Star, and they've updated their website, so they do have the meters associated with the addresses if you had, given that information to them. But I was also going to ask, how many years are they looking back with this report? Is it just like a current time, or are they looking?
I think it's,
certain time frame?
for 2024 probably, because that's what's completed, the most recent year.
Okay, so the goal would be then to theoretically do this more than once to measure progress, or would it just be a one-off?
Into the future, I would assume. In an ideal world, if we can get all the bills into Energy Star, then you would continually update them.
Right.
But again, for as many buildings that we have, you almost need somebody dedicated to do that. Or, it just takes a lot of coordination.
Sounds like you need an intern.
Or 3.
Yeah.
Or a Vista AmeriCorps.
But we're going to work on it. We're going to see what we can come up with.
So is this on the agenda just to like share with us that this was happening? I just wanted to clarify.
Yes.
Thank you. I like the fact that it's happening.
Yeah.
I support you.
Thank you.
Sarah, you can stay up there because you're the next on the agenda.
Is anything else on the LCAP? Question, comments, before we move on?
Well, that's all.
All right, on to other business, sustainability coordinator updates.
We're working to conclude our DCNR Community Forestry Grant, which is our big partnership grant to plant trees, install tiny forests, and do lawn replacements with wildflower meadows. And also some orchards are tied into that. So that will be wrapping up hopefully at the end of this month. We're all finishing those projects, so we're excited about those. There's a lot going on between the city and Leaf and Groundwork Erie. The Benedictine nuns are involved, the Borough of Northeast, Mercyhurst campus. We have a lot of partners on that project, so it's this is our third and hopefully final year.
Is there a map or a list of where say the lawn conversion projects are, the prairies?
No. We have done we've installed a tiny forest in Franklin Park, and Mercyhurst had the first one that was not part of this project, but Franklin Park is one.
Sarah, we
Yes.
will have all that information collected.
Right,
and
I'm
be
just
able to
telling
show.
you the
Yeah,
ones that
no.
we've done so far. So
But-
far, we've done Franklin Park, and
So
we're
there's
just,
not been any actual lawn conversion projects?
yeah, there has been.
Yes.
Oh,
We've just requested from our partners to share the location of where they've done their projects over the last several months, because, in fact, over the last 2 years. And we're mapping that on the DCNR portal right now, and also in Tree Keeper, is that what it's called? Which is an application that DCNR likes us to use, so that will be available. Tree Keeper is available to the public as well.
Once the project's complete,
Yeah.
it'll all be available. We're still compiling all the
can we
data.
get the Water Authority one too, even though they're not part of your official project?
Maybe.
Yeah,
I don't know.
map.
I'll have to look at it.
Get it mapped,
We can include it as match if we needed to, but,
or get it mapped.
I mean, we could mention that we've installed it, whether it counts towards the project or not. It's still good to know, but. And so also part of that is the tree inventory that hopefully we're going to be conducting in October. So that's also coming up, and we're very excited about that. We're hoping that it doesn't happen in November, but it happens in October. And then, I don't know, there's so many projects, I apologize. I'm in the middle of a bunch of tree planting and removal bids. I didn't have time to prepare anything. But we're also working on potential future solar projects. City Hall's in the middle of a lighting upgrade. I don't know if these lights haven't been upgraded yet, but they're replacing all the lights with LED lights. And that's been going on, and that's exciting. But yeah, I don't know, unless anybody has any questions.
I think in terms of the mapping that Freda was asking about, like it could be, because I mean, you can't put the Water Authority into a DCNR grant portal because it's not part of the DCNR grant,
Unless it's meant.
but it could be
No, it
like
wouldn't go in
a-
the portal, but we can mention it in our final report.
Right, but I'm wondering if there's interest between the two of you on like a GIS student project where they map, like they create a nice visual for you of the places where these things have happened. That would be what Freda is asking for. I'm just curious if like I could reach out to our GIS faculty. Yeah.
We can use the polygons that are created in Tree Keeper and import those into our GIS system.
Oh, cool.
Internally, which we were going to do anyways, but
Okay.
also all of the inventory, the tree inventory, which is only going to take about 6 to 8 weeks.
Yeah.
all of that data is going to be housed in-house also.
Oh,
So we're hopefully, as we build upon this data that we didn't have in the past in GIS, we had it, but not in GIS, we'll be able to share those maps with
cool.
everyone. So
Okay.
definitely.
Yeah, we're still in the middle of all of it.
It's a lot.
Yeah, it's a big grant. That's why I'm very grateful for the planning department for helping it work through it.
Yeah.
They've been a huge help.
The information that I provided you about sidewalks and tree roots, is there any hope that that will get communicated to the city, the people who design the sidewalk replacements like downtown and stuff?
I forwarded that information to our engineering department. So that's all I can do. And I can help, answer any questions that they have and stuff, but I've sent them the information, so we'll have to see. I'm not sure what types of projects are out there right now through our engineering department.
Thank you, Ms. Peelman.
You're welcome. It's my pleasure.
On to the next item, Department of Planning and Neighborhood Resource Updates.
Is that my entry song?
Right? CCR, it's all good.
Because of the time that we're at right now, and also because I'm a little under the weather, I'm going to direct you all to our website because a lot of our updates, the staff in the planning department has been doing a really good job with updating the website, even with timelines, with schedules, with projects that are going on, with our parks plan. We just revamped the whole parks plan website this week. We're going to have a survey again posted on there so that we'll be able to provide more comment. I know that I had Hannah Oleski, our neighborhood resource coordinator, send all of you our newsletter, our department newsletter, so you should be getting those. We are going to continue to have updates on the department, on planning initiatives, as well as historic preservation program initiatives, and also our neighborhood resource team. So please read those, check those out. Please spread the word and send those on and have people get connected with us, because there's very timely and relevant information in those newsletters. We try to do them monthly, and that they pertain to whatever's coming up, whether it's leaf collection, Halloween safety, possible grants that are coming up for our residents. So it's been well received, and we're happy to be disseminating that information out into the community. That's my update.
I had a question.
Oh, sure.
So I attended the long-range transportation plan.
Too.
Well, no, it's LRTP.
I did too.
I don't
I was there.
understand. It's like 30, 20, 50.
2052.
Yeah, it seems like there's always one of those. Anyway, they are going to have one of those point-by-point things online like you had.
The story
for
map.
Safe Streets for All.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any possibility that the information that went into your map is going to get automatically funneled into theirs? Or-
Yes, I was at that meeting as well. I was in person. I think you
Yeah,
were
I didn't-
online.
because I didn't hear that in answer to my
Yes,
question.
I actually made a comment at the meeting and said that we just completed a safety action plan. We have all of this data. We have crash data. We have data on vulnerable road users, and that we would give the consultants all of that information
Well,
that
my
we have.
interest is also the user entered points, those of us who entered points on that.
The comments,
Yeah.
yes, the over 1,500 comments that we've received, yes, yes. We plan to share all of that information. There's no reason to reinvent the wheel or start over. All of that's been done specifically for the city of Erie, though.
Right.
Remember, this is a
Yeah,
countywide
countywide.
plan, so all of that information is
not necessarily complete, but there's information that they can build upon from the safety action plan. Absolutely, yes. We already mentioned that to them.
Good.
Yes. Thank you for bringing that up.
I just wanted to mention, we received a grant a couple of years ago for all those big blue recycling bins for citizens, for like 9,000 bins. And I just wanted to let people know, we still have a few of those left. We have almost given them all out. But if there are citizens out there who still want a bin, they can contact me or the Citizens Response Line, that 870-111, to call in with their address, and we can still get some people bins. So that's good. We'd like to finish handing out all of those. I think they're really great.
Great.
Thank you. Anything else under updates from planning?
No,
Good.
that's all, Matt. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Anything else?
I noticed we're dark today. Are we not online today?
Yeah.
No, we are being recorded. We just don't have anyone on
Oh, okay.
Zoom.
Okay.
Yes, sorry.
Because I
it
had
took me
seen
a-
a
Yes,
message from
no,
Jasmine that she was going to watch, and I just.
Yes,
wondered if she-
it's live streamed on Facebook and also on
Oh,
the City of
okay.
Erie's YouTube channel, yes. We don't have anyone calling in or presenting for once.
Very good.
Anything else? Motion to adjourn?
Motion, so moved.
Second. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? So moved. Have a wonderful.